Hey, what's good, y'all? It is time to focus, LBK. This is Robert Jenkins coming to you with the Focus LBK show. This is episode 35. We're going to be talking about First Friday Art Trail over there at Caviel's museum, plus a ton of Juneteenth fun coming up. We also going to be talking about how reading is fun, but understanding is fundamental. Anybody that, any of my old heads out there know where I got that from. That's that Big Rube off the Society of Soul album. What was that, about 96 or something like that? He say, reading is fun, understanding is fundamental. Anyway, what we talking about is First Friday Art Trail and a ton of Juneteenth fun coming up. Man, this past weekend, this Saturday, me and the rest of the Water Panther crew had a real good time. The Water Panther clan. If all y'all don't know, I'm talking about me and the fam. We had a real good time, man. We was out there. Yes, we did go to Caviel's Museum of African American History. And we had a spectacular time there because they had a great show. Miss Green and all her crew put on a little shindig for First Friday Art Trail. We also went to May the 4th Be With You. Had a good time at that, but we ain't gonna delve into that too much on this show. Before I get started telling y'all what's going on, I want to leave this thought with you. Dr. Janice Henderson. She act like she don't like when you say that, but I'm gonna say it anyway because you got to work hard to get that doctorate, that PhD. I think I'm finna start working on my master's at some point in some time in the future, in the near future. But Dr. Janice Henderson left us with this thought on Facebook. She say, think not of the books you've bought as a pile of stuff to be read. Instead, think of your bookcase as a wine cellar. You collect books to be read at the right time, the right place, and in the right mood. And that comes from a cat named, that quote right there is from a cat named Luke van Donkersgoed. I say Luke van Donkersgoed. I'm going to read that quote again because it's dope. Think not of the books that you have bought as a to-be-read pile. Instead, think of your bookcase as a wine cellar. You collect books to be read at the right time, the right place, and in the right mood. And man, that is so true. And I'm glad I saw that. The reason I brought it up to y'all today before we get started, that's why I say reading is fun, understanding is fundamental. The reason I brought that up is because I'm an avid reader, man. I stay with my nose in a book. Ask my wife if you don't believe me. And I do have a indefatigable reading list. And I feel guilty, or I used to feel guilty about that reading list. I be buying books and putting them on the shelf and ain't even got to them yet. Life, man. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I had a full-time job and another full-time job doing this here, pretty much. But you just, it gets down to the point of, is there enough time in the day to read all the stuff you want to read? It ain't. And I used to feel guilty about that. Like I ain't doing enough. Like I need to get up early, an hour early to read or something like that. I always stay up an hour late at night and read. That's the last thing I do before I go to bed every day. Read at least a chapter in something, you know what I'm saying? But when I saw that quote right there from Dr. Janice Henderson, you got to say it that way. I'm just messing with you, Jan. But she say, think not of the books that you have bought as a to-be-read pile. Instead, think of your bookcase as a wine cellar. You collect books to be read at the right time, the right place, and in the right mood. Yeah, I like that thought. My latest book that I done bought is called Paul Laurence Dunbar, The Life and Times of a Caged Bird. And I haven't started it yet, but I'm about to. Because, we got Dunbar High School, and I did a couple of films on, Dunbar and Prof. Struggs and all that. And you have to wonder, where's that name Dunbar come from? I already knew it came from Paul Laurence Dunbar, but just reading a little bit about the cat, not even reading the book yet, I've learned so much about him. For example, in his life, it wasn't all rosy. He had a little problem with alcohol and abuse and stuff like that. But I'm not going to give it away. You ought to read that book, Paul Laurence Dunbar, The Life and Times of a Caged Bird. One thing I did learn, just by looking at the title, The Life and Times of a Caged Bird, then you had, who was that, Toni Morrison or Maya Angelou, one of them poetesses. She say, I know why the caged bird sings. And I bet you she got that from the title of Paul Laurence Dunbar's poem, because he has a poem in there called Caged Bird. And if y'all don't mind, we talking about reading, we done got onto a subject that's near and dear to my heart, man. I'm going to just go over some books that I got in my queue, things I'm about to buy so I can read, but I just haven't had a chance to read them yet. One of them is called Chaos, Charles Manson, the CIA, and the Secret History of the 60s. That's by Tom O'Neill. Chaos, Charles Manson, the CIA, and the Secret History of the 60s. Another book I'm finna read is called Not Stolen, The Truth About European Colonialism in the New World. Always got to get that opposite perspective. We've been told our whole lives this is stolen land and all that. Well, it's two sides to every story. Matter of fact, it's 3 or 4 sides to every story. It's your side, they side, the witness's side, what you can prove in court, and what the evidence shows. You know what I'm saying? It's all kind of sides to every story. I got another book right here called Black Slave Owners, Free Black Slave Masters in South Carolina by Larry Coger. Finna peep that out. One I'm real eager to peep out is called A New Science of Life, Morphic Resonance, the Hypothesis. Hold up, I'm stumbling and slurring. It ain't like I'm sipping on nothing, player. A New Science of Life, the Hypothesis of Morphic Resonance, and it's by Rupert Sheldrake. Really, really keen to read this one. I'm a slowly enjoy that and digest it, because my man talking about morphic resonance, which is it's a theory about how it's such a deep theory about how reality is formed and how animals evolve, how life evolves. We have a pattern. There's the rules of nature, the laws of nature are more like rules of nature. It's deep. I've been watching YouTube videos on it, and I was like, I still ain't getting this. That's why I need to read the book. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna read the book. That's in my queue. Finna order that one. Man, I got about $200 worth of books here I'm trying to order, man. Somebody, hey, please subscribe to the podcast here so y'all can help my reading habit. Y'all see where I'm trying to go. Another book I want to read, Logan Lansing with James Lindsay. It's called The Queering of the American Child, How a New School Religious Cult Poisons the Minds and Bodies of Normal Kids. Provocative, ain't it? See, I told you, man, I ain't trying to read on one side of the equation. We already know half the story. I want to see, like Bob Marley say, after a story I've never been told. So stand up for your right. Hey, stand up for your right. Yeah, I'm trying to see the other side. After story I've never been told. I'm trying to see the other side of the story. Another book I'm trying to read, The New Puritans, How the Religion of Social Justice Captivated the Western World. Another book, Afro-Pessimism, Frank B. Wilderson III. This is a autobiography of a pretty seminal thinker, as I understand it, in a certain strain of black thought. Another book I'm really kind of interested in reading is Why Orwell Matters by Christopher Hitchens. You know, with my Intel background, I'm supremely interested in why Orwell matters, because when I look around today, man, all I see is that George Orwell, was prophetic. Talking about not just 1984, but also Animal Farm. Animal Farm foreshadows all this DEI, training of the kids, secret training of the kids in colleges and stuff like that, as some people would allege. George Orwell talked about that back in what it must have been the 60s or the 70s. I saw an old cartoon about this back in the 70s or 80s. The book must have been written in the 60s or 70s. maybe before then. Another book I want to peep out called Butchered by Healthcare by Robert Yoho, MD. Check this out. Paul Laurence Dunbar, Folks from Dixie. A novel by the man himself. The Lethal Dose, Why Your Doctor is Prescribing It by a black alternative healthcare professional named Dr. Jennifer Daniels. Finna peep that out. Man, anyway, I scare y'all. I keep on reading what's on my reading list out and telling y'all what's on my reading list. Y'all be done fell out. Y'all be like, oh, he crazy. Yeah, he crazy for knowledge. Crazy for wisdom, education, understanding. Not necessarily trying to be educated, trying to educate myself, man. Education is about learning how to think. And in order to properly think, you got to have facts at your disposal. You can't just have indoctrination on one side of any equation. You got to have both sides or all sides of the story. So that's what we're talking about. Reading is fun, but understanding is fundamental. And I said all that to say because even my wife, lovely wife, is getting in on it. She going up to the Patterson Library because they got a left to right book club up there. Grab your father, your brother, your sister, or friend and join us as we discuss Cry Like a Man. You can pick up a copy at the Patterson Branch Library, Saturday, May 25th, 2 p.m., 18 plus. Gonna be some adult discussion going on, but the book is called Cry Like a Man, and my wife, lovely wife, is actually reading Cry Like a Man. So shout out to Teresa and the rest of the crew up there at the Patterson Library, man. Left to Right Book Club. So grab your father, your brother, your sister, or friend and join them discussing Cry Like a Man. I might read that real quick too. I'm gonna go up there and sit my big old self down off in the midst of them sisters up there. It's mostly sisters from what I understand. Brothers, they need a male perspective up there. So if you are literate and if you can read that book, Cry Like a Man. Or go on up to the library. I think you can get a copy of it free. Now, you got to take it back. You can't keep it. But I think you can pick up a copy at the Patterson Branch Library. Matter of fact, I know you can because it say here, right here on the flyer. Pick up a copy at the Patterson Branch Library. So go on and pick up a copy, brothers. And join them on Saturday, May 25th at 2 p.m. to discuss Cry Like a Man. Why? Because reading is fun and understanding is fundamental. I'm going to see, that's going to be the song of the week right there, man. I'm going to put that down the bottom. That's what it's going to be. Yeah. Now, going back up to the top of my list here, I just wanted to let y'all know about that Left to Right Book Club, but it's a lot of other stuff going on. For example, they have the Should I Shoot Self-Defense Workshop. The Should I Shoot Self-Defense Workshop. And where is that? That's going to be at the Civic Center. And I believe, oh man, see, I had that pulled up on a tab right here. Let me see. Can I go back to it? The Should I Shoot. So it's a free workshop. It's going to be at the Lubbock Memorial Civic Center at, I hate to even say where it's at. If you from Lubbock and you don't know where the Civic Center at, but then again, maybe I'm talking to people that ain't from Lubbock. It's at 1501 Mac Davis Lane, Lubbock, Texas, 79401. Thursday, May 9th, 2024. That's this coming Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m. Now, you do have to register. And if you click on this, look down in the show notes right there and click on the flyer, and it should take you to the registration page. If not, just go on and, oh man, look like it's a pretty big, they've had it before at the Civics. And I'm looking at the picture, and looks like it's put on by law enforcement personnel, it looked like. Because let me read the rest of the flyer. It's a free class near you. Should I shoot? Official partners of the U.S. Concealed Carry Association. The difference between knowing and guessing is freedom or jail. The difference between knowing and guessing is freedom or jail. It says, in the heat of the moment, when chaos is happening around you and tunnel vision is setting in, you need to know what to expect before, during, and after a self-defense incident. The aftermath of a self-defense situation, they're going to cover that. They're going to cover what's considered reasonable force in your state. They're going to cover how to quickly take action and save lives. Plus, there's going to be a live Q&A with USCCA certified instructors. Only thing you need to bring is questions and materials to take notes. It's only 2 seats left, it say. I don't know. They probably going to take a little bit of everybody. I think I'm already registered for it. So click on this picture down here. Should I shoot? And go on and register for it. Self-defense, man. We live in a country that recognizes our God-given right to self-defense. So I feel like you would be a fool and be remiss not to take advantage of that fact. Should I shoot workshop? Yo, check it out. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we got that brother Ricky Gaines putting on the Returning Citizens Association Presents Building Resilience Summit Series 2024, Overcoming Domestic Violence and Trauma. $20 to get in. That's going to be on 11 May 2024. It's going to be Saturday, 1:30 to 5 p.m. Saturday, 11 May, 1:30 to 5 p.m. Seating is limited. It's going to be at the Civic Center. Once again, 1501 Mac Davis Lane. I think y'all know where that's at. $20 to get in, but also $10 tickets if you happen to be a student or if you are somebody who has been impacted by the system. And it's not just prison. It's all kind of systems out there that be impacting y'all. I've been spending some time with that brother Ricky Gaines and his wife Andrea Gaines. They got oh man, I ain't going to speak out of school, but I'm just going to try to tell y'all they got some content that's in the works. And it is going to be dope. Very proud to have a little small hand to play in that, man. But y'all need to peep out this Overcoming Domestic Violence and Trauma Building Resilience Summit Series. Again, 11 May 2024, Saturday, 1:30 to 5 p.m. Check it out. It's going to be co-hosted by Andrea Gaines and Pastor Jose Limas Jr. One of the speakers is going to be Erica Munoz, an RCA ambassador. Ricky Gaines himself will be a speaker. He's of course, the executive director of the RCA. And then there's going to be speaker Natasia Limas, who I'm just assuming is related to co-host Pastor Jose Limas. I could be wrong, but I'm just inferring by looking at the flyer. So they say join us for an empowering summit focused on overcoming domestic violence and trauma. Our distinguished speakers will share personal stories, professional insights, and strategies for healing and resilience. Check it out. Once again, that's going to be on 11 May 2024 from 1:30 to 5. Now, moving on to Juneteenth stuff going on. That brother Ricky Sherfield looked like he putting on something called a Juneteenth paint soiree. June 14th, 6 to 9 at the Caviel Museum, 1719 Avenue A. Check it out. Join us for an evening of creativity and celebration at our Juneteenth paint soiree. Connect with friends, family, and fellow art enthusiasts as we come together to honor the significance of Juneteenth. Let's come together in solidarity and creativity, uniting our voices and talents as we paint a brighter future for generations to come. That's the Juneteenth paint soiree. June 14th, 6 to 9, up at the Caviel Museum. Y'all know where it's at, 1719 Avenue A. In addition to that, thought they was doing something slick. The Patterson Library throwing a little Juneteenth jamboree on June 17th, 5:30 to 8 p.m. They're going to have snacks and games, photos, and prizes. For real. Say right here, they're going to have Black Jeopardy, Finish the Lyric, Family Feud, and Black Card Revoked. Uh-oh. I feel like they're going to be trying to take my black card because I be saying some off-the-wall stuff. But it be true, though. It be real true. That's why it's off the wall. That's why they want to take your card for it, because it's true and they don't like to hear it, baby. I don't know. Come together. Celebrate freedom, unity, and the enduring legacy of Juneteenth. Juneteenth Jamboree. Games, snacks, game nights, photo, and prizes at the TJ Patterson Library. That's June 17th, 5:30 to 8 p.m. Black Jeopardy, Finish the Lyric, Family Feud, and Black Card Revoked. And I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. If I be out there, if I get out, I'm whipping somebody in Black Jeopardy. Might whip somebody in Finish the Lyric too. I might get my black card revoked too, man. And I don't know if the Water Panther clan gonna all be in effect, but if we whipping somebody in Family Feud too. I'm just putting it out there. I ain't talking smack. It ain't talking smack if it's true. Yeah. So as y'all can see, man, we have a plethora of events going on, coming up, and going on. Now, having kicked it with y'all, kicked the ballistics about what's going on in the LBK over the next couple of weeks, we're going to shift our attention now to what happened in the LBK. We talked about what's going on. We're going to talk about what happened. And one of the things that happened this past Saturday at the Roots Historical Arts Council, it was called the Pialli Art Exhibit. It was artworks from Lubbock's indigenous community featuring Elsa D., James Murdoch, James, Dogbot, and Lucky Rodriguez. They had live music. They had a dope band up there called Mojave Soul. They had a food truck out there. I got they card they gave me. Cause here you go. The food truck was called Avos. That's Havos Catering Services food truck. Homemade food. Avos, by the way. My Spanish a little rusty, but reaching back into the mist of memory when I used to be a Spanish linguist, I think that's it's a certain dialect of Spanish is basically saying, hey y'all, vosotros, hey vosotros, hey y'all. I think that's what it's equivalent to. Anyway, it was a dope little old show at the Caviel Museum of African American History. Look at these pictures though. These pictures is exquisite. Not because I took them, but because the good stuff that was going on. Man, the stuff that was going on over there is just... See, what I liked about this event was Mrs. Green and her team. They really moved outside and expanded their... What do you call it? When you expand your... where you're comfortable at. When you move outside your comfort zone. That's what I felt like they was doing. And it was... The traditional audience was there. We was in effect, but there was a lot of Hispanic Lubbock in effect. Young cats too. Matter of fact, there was a good mixture of old and young, but a lot of young people was there. Check them pictures out, you'll see. And man, with Mojave Soul burning up and shredding in the background, playing some of that, because it's a play on words. It's soul. S-O-L means son, but S-O-L, S-O-U-L, the homophone, it sounds like soul, is, as we African descendants talk about it, that's cool animating principle that connects us to the divine. I guess that's what you would call soul. So they talking about Mojave Soul. They was playing in the background. They was shredding on that guitar. We're going to have a article about them cats. I talked to the lead singer, took a lot of good pictures of them, so y'all stay tuned for that. That's gonna be up here Tuesday or Wednesday. Y'all know how we do. We'll see. But I just wanted to let you know, man, they had a really eclectic selection of artwork, and it was notably different than what you were seeing on the wall. So what we talking about in this episode, man, is expanding your horizons. Reading is fundamental. Understanding is reading is fun. Understanding is fundamental. When you read and understand, it helps you expand your horizons. When you open up the doors to the Caviel Museum of African American History, and you open it up to, like I say, an eclectic band of artists, an eclectic band of musicians, eclectic food truck, something out of the norm and out of the ordinary than what you normally do. That's what I would encourage everybody to do. The best times in life, man, is when you step outside your comfort zone. Step outside your comfort zone. I remember one time years ago, man, me and lovely wife were down in Galveston, Texas, and we met a cat who was from the Caribbean. And I can't remember the cat's name, but he was cool and he was like a bald head cat and he had a motorcycle and stuff. And anyway, long story short, he invited us to come eat Thanksgiving dinner with him and his crew, him and his family. And his family, his wife was Filipina, but she was adopted by some Germans and he was a brother from the Caribbean somewhere. So me and lovely wife and I went to this family dinner where we had German white folks, Filipinos, and Caribbean cats, and us who didn't know nobody. And it was an interesting take. It was a great little thing. We stepped outside our comfort zone. It was a good time. Well, that's what I'm talking about, man. We stepped outside our comfort zone over there at the Caviel Museum of African American History. Bumped some real good music that I digged it. And you know, I got everything on my iPod from Johnny Cash to Mos Def. I got everything from James Brown to Parliament Funkadelic to stuff you ain't never even heard. I got Marilyn Manson right next to Parliament Funkadelic. You know what I'm saying? I got Kurt Cobain. I got the Cannons. I got the Decemberists right next to Dickie Irwin. That's that talking about that Lubbock Rhythm and Roots, that LBK Rhythm and Roots. What y'all know about that? Peep that podcast out. Going up to YouTube and type in LBK Rhythm and Roots. Check out that Dickie Irwin that's finna be coming up. The West Texas Exile. I got all kind of stuff on my iPod. So when I was chilling up there at the Caviel Museum of Africa, the Caviel Museum of African American History, my boy, I tell you what, I need to stop sipping on that player stuff. I ain't player enough to handle it. But anyway, we had a good time because it was so eclectic. I enjoyed that Mojave Soul. They was loud, boy. We had to put in some earplugs because they bought the sound system with them. They bought everything out the music store with them. You know what I'm saying? They was blowing us away, but it was funky though, in a Mojave Soul type of way with a U, SOUL. In this case, we was catching a different type of soul. The artists, man, we was peeping out. Lucky. Like I said, different cats that I previously was unfamiliar with. Jesse Murdoch, James. I don't know if he's trying to say James or James. Dogbot. Elicity. Elicity was one of the artists, I think, the gentleman that helped put it on. He kind of, I think he even had something to do with arranging for the band to be there, Mojave Soul. And man, just check it out. Y'all, look at these pictures right here and stay tuned because we're fixing to do, like I say, an article probably Wednesday. It takes time to produce good content. We don't want to rush it. We will sell no wine before it's time, like my man Paul Masson. So check us out Wednesday. We'll do a little article on it. But the point is, man, we had a real good time, and I would urge y'all and cajole y'all and encourage y'all and just ask y'all to please expand your horizons. Don't get caught in that same old. That one beat up and down, it just won't do. That's that talking about that Funkadelic. She's a big freak. Used to be the freak of the week. Ooh, that's another good song. I might have to put 2 songs down there. But anyway, I'm about to let y'all go, man. But the thought for the week is, I guess, expand your horizons. Move out of your comfort zone. Check out some stuff you probably wouldn't check out. Do some things you probably wouldn't normally never do. Go some places you probably wouldn't never be seen. You know what I'm saying? Holler at some people you probably normally wouldn't talk to. Expand, LBK. And don't just expand to the Southwest. That's an inside joke. If you ain't from LBK, you might not get that one. You can expand to other sides beside the Southwest, or you can keep it in the loop. I don't know. Anyway, this is your man on the scene, Robert Jenkins, coming with the Focus LBK show for the week of 6 May. This is episode 34, and it's all about expanding your horizons. Reading is fun, understanding is fundamental. Yeah. Enjoy the week, y'all. And remember, step outside of your comfort zone sometime this week. And if you do something fun and funky, man, why don't you write me you can contact me right here in the article, man. Why don't y'all leave a comment or something and let me know what you did that was outside your comfort zone. All right, then. I ain't gonna hold y'all up, man. I know y'all eager to get started. I am too. So, we gonna say peace.